right, so what I want to talk about is this the Minnesota Vikings game yesterday versus the LA Rams. I mean, I watched the whole game, and I mean, I was shocked at what happened. I mean, something in me told me, right? The Rams, they're a scary team in the sense that Stafford's been there before and he's won, right? And teams like that, sometimes they just know, what to do to win. And, and they could pull out victories. And I thought that there was something that they could do. I thought that there was a possibility they could beat the Vikings. I thought that, if they beat them, I thought it'd be close, right? I thought it was gonna be a gunfight. I thought it was gonna be, it was gonna be scoring, like 60, 70 points. But nothing really prepared me for what I saw yesterday, which was a Vikings team who looked like they had my Patriots offensive line. Couldn't protect Darnold for the life of him. I think he ended up with a playoff record. Maybe I think it was like 9 or 10. I think he got the 10th one on like the last play of the game or something like that. I don't know. And they couldn't protect him, and they just looked in disarray. After for me was a horrible call on that call they overturned with the fumble return for touchdown. It really pissed me off. Why? Because years back before replay, this would not even have been a thing. It would have definitely been a fumble, no questions asked. Even looking at the replay, you could tell that, okay, let's say he did try to let the ball go, but the way I saw it, it looked like he just let it go. I didn't see any clear intention of him, passing the ball off to anybody else, or to Puka, who was in the area. And obviously, I'm not going to say that that's the reason why, the Vikings lost. They lost for a ton of reasons. They were just horrible yesterday. Everything and anything that could go wrong yesterday went wrong. Drop catches. The defense played horribly. They made questionable calls. Going for it on fourth down, at the end of the half, which allowed, the Rams to get that touchdown. I don't know, the going for two thing, it's just like when I feel like you have to get positive plays, and winning plays when you're not doing good. Obviously, going for it, for the 2-point conversion, when you're not having success. For me, that's just not I don't care what the advanced stats say. I don't think that they should necessarily have gone for it. But it was just like a horrible performance. Everything went wrong. And then it sucks, right? Because Sam Darnold, who, while he was at the Jets, I thought this guy was going to be, like Zach Wilson, he was going to leave the Jets. And he was going to, go on to the team and would hear from him again. But season, he had a great season, and it sucks that he hurt his stock in these last two games, because that's what they're gonna remember. Whether or not that offensive line was trash, whether or not they made mistakes on punt return, whether or not his wide receivers dropped balls. He did throw 2 interceptions. But it sucks that he's gonna be remembered for these last two games, which are a small sample size over a long season of him and all the success that he had. Which was he had, when you look at the at the finality of the season, he had a 14-4 season. He lost 4 games. And unfortunately, those 4 games he lost were to the 2 same teams, the Rams and the Lions. Other than that, he didn't lose to anybody else. And it sucks because now he costs him some money, right? I, for one, again, a lot of people are going to be rooting for the Rams. You know what they're going through. You know, my heart is out. You know, with LA, and everybody in that Los Angeles community, and you know, and what they're going through. Eventually, I want to try to see if I can help. And again, I'm sorry for everything you guys are going through, but there's people again rooting for them. But if you ask me, sports-wise, who do you want to see? People wanted to see the Vikings. They wanted to see Justin Jefferson, and they wanted to see them make a deep run in the playoffs. And now it sucks because we're deprived of that, because of the fact that they played a horrible game. Their offensive line, couldn't block for the life of them, and they lost their right tackle. I think it was like towards the end of the third quarter yesterday. Concussion. He took a nasty hit to his head, and it's tough. It's tough. None of these teams are my team. Again, I'm a Patriots fan, but you want to see, at least in my eyes, the best possible product, the best possible teams, moving forward. And in my eyes, that was the Minnesota Vikings. And going back to that Matthew Stafford play, that forward pass, let's say if we even respect the rule, right? At the very least, that should have been intentional grounding. That should have been intentional grounding because there was no way that Puka could have made a play on that. No way. There's just no way. All right, and obviously when quarterbacks want to get out of intentional grounding, they just fling it in the vicinity of the player. But I believe that is just giving too much help to the offensive player and putting the defensive player in a situation where, it's just like, what do I do? What else do I do to get the ball out of this quarterback's hands? And that's just kind of how I was left feeling after that play and how they overturned that. But, they reviewed it. I think it's, Secaucus, New Jersey, those guys up there, they reviewed it. And apparently, they were good with it, but I was left with a horrible feeling in my stomach. I felt like the Vikings got shafted there, kind of the same way they got shafted in that game against the Lions when they didn't call the face mask on Sam Darnold on a pivotal play that led to a safety. That was horrible. It was egregious. It happened. Like, there was just no way, you could miss it. There was a sideline referee that was there, and should have seen his head pop back the way it did, and they missed that. And then they go on ahead and do this. And I just feel like the Vikings, they've been on the wrong side of a lot of crazy plays. And that's kind of it. Just kind of wanted to talk about that. The LA Rams they move forward. They don't know if they're going to be able to practice in their facility. They're going to be testing for air quality to see if it's feasible, and the playoffs move on. All the games are set. And it kind of is what it is. The Lions are going to face the Washington Commanders. The LA Rams are going to play against the Philadelphia Eagles. Texans got the Chiefs, and the Ravens face off against I don't know. I'm missing the other team against the Bills, which should be. Those are all going to be some really good games. I just really think the fact that the Vikings lost yesterday was just a loss to NFL fans in general, because that's the team we wanted to see. It should have been the better of the teams, and they just didn't do what they had to do to hash out that win. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. All right. You guys have yourself a good day.